Right, last week it was revealed that Transport Minister Simeon Brown, seen here wondering why you're not flooring it outside the local primary school, had chosen to ignore official advice on the timeframe around reducing rules for emissions on tailpipe exhaust in an effort to rush through changes at the behest of the automobile lobby groups. Our emission criteria already lagged behind our major trading partners and were in a rapid rate of improvement to meet those international standards. But this decision now puts us in a race with Russia to be the lowest of those in the emission scales. Being in a race with Russia to be the worst at something doesn't actually sound like great economic sense to me. Hmm. On Monday, News Talk ZB reported that a new piece of public artwork known as the Silver Tier, which is to be installed on Wellington's waterfront, would cost a whopping $5.5 million. Only it would actually cost about $600,000 and it was 5.5 meters tall. The money's been raised by a charitable trust. News Talk ZB, News Talk ZB's owners, NZME said, "You expect us to fact check the station that let Mike Hosking conflate COVID death numbers downplaying COVID 19, or let Kate Hawkesby make false claims that brown people were jumping hospital lines for surgeries because of their skin colour, or the people that let Heather Duplessis Allen rip into a school kid protesting climate inaction and cause a pile-on against her? Sure, we'll try and do better next time." David Seymour, seen here breaking into song because his punitive criminal measures were clearly inspired by Les Miserables, has had to deal with a blow from his new Ministry of Regulation, which released a report on David Seymour's Treaty Principles Bill this week that stated the work had not gone into its creation to ensure that it would be in the best interest of New Zealanders, which is a really expensive way of telling us something we already knew, but left Seymour with an awkward choice of criticizing his own pet ministry like he's done for others, or ignoring it and finding another distraction. Said Seymour, "Look over there, we're directing ministries to focus on needs, not race." Uh, Speaking of the Treaty Principles Bill, the Ministry of Justice is taking extreme measures to protect the bill from leaks after it was presented to caucus last week. These new measures include chucking them in the basement of the government building and ignoring them, and being placed in a suitcase in the Public Trust office in Palmerston North to sit in a corridor for years. Oh, wait, that's actually what happened to the original Te Tiriti document. This bill is going to require top level security clearance to access, which includes a mix of physical and digital security measures. In Hamilton, Sovereign Citizen and New Zealand Loyal linked councillor Andrew Bidder, seen here wondering if he needs to issue more execution writs to his co-workers to get them back in his good books, was found to have breached council code of conduct rules he had agreed to when he submitted feedback to neighbouring Waipa District Council, which included denigrating slurs used against disabled peoples. During his defence presentation at an extraordinary meeting, he claimed he was justified in using bad language because it was all about 20-minute cities, and threatened Deputy Mayor Angela O'Leary with a citizen's arrest. After the process was concluded and Bidder was ordered to apologise, he told media that he would be refusing to do so, saying, "I'm sorry, but I don't apologise." Throughout the process, Bidder is focused on the fact that his language was bad, not on who the language would harm, and refusing to apologise to groups which included IHC. He's showing once again that sovereign citizens are just assholes who want to use pseudo-law to continue being assholes. On Wednesday, Deputy Prime Minister Winston Peters, seen here holding on to notes to help him with his kōrero, claimed Parliament's standards and oratory skills were in a state of decline when Te Pāti Māori MP Te Kuta Ferris used a laptop to inform parts of his kōrero, calling out the coalition for deliberately misleading voters. Ferris was very deliberate to not name names, but Winston still heard that he was being called a liar. Hearing things that aren't there, getting uppity at young people using new technology, and being grumpy when someone uses Te Reo Māori, Winston is one cloud yelling session away from becoming a walking meme. This week marked the 141st, the 131st anniversary of the signing of the 1893 Electoral Bill, which granted women full voting rights for the first time. I really should avoid the National Party as a source if I want accurate information, I guess. At one stage in 2001, the top 5 political and legal positions in this country were all held by women. Dame Sylvia Cartwright was Governor-General, Helen Clark was Prime Minister, Jenny Shipley was Leader of the Opposition, Cyan Ellis was Chief Justice, and Margaret Wilson was Attorney-General. Now, though, we have a future Deputy Prime Minister who wants to abolish the Women's Ministry after claiming that suffragette Kate Shepherd would vote for him, and a Prime Minister who didn't know if women really faced vitriolic sexist comments from the public after Christchurch members of his own party led a campaign targeting female politicians, which he called vile and toxic. And finally, the Hawke's Bay Airport has unveiled its name for its new fire truck. The $1.6 million state of the art firefighting appliance can spray 7,400 litres of water up to 90 metres away and has a top speed of 122 kilometres per hour. The winning name? Dame Judy Drench, which I think is brilliant. That is the news. Here. The links to other things that come at the end of YouTube videos.